slays the Slayer. Buffy continuation series, Stake Through the Heart. Yeah, so I never really got into Buffy, even though theoretically it should be right in my wheelhouse, right in my genre. I think I was a little bit too old. I didn't watch it when it was out initially. And my wife, who actually is not a big TV movie person, certainly not speculative fiction, she watched that as a teenager and really enjoyed it. And she tried to introduce it to me, and it wasn't really working for me. Again, I think I was too old by the time I was trying to watch that. But when they announced this reboot, my initial thought, even though I wasn't a fan, my initial thought was it's probably going to be terrible. And 15, 20 years ago, whenever a reboot would be announced, I would be like, oh yeah, this is great. This sounds great. Can't wait. It's one of my favorite things. Or I know this thing was really good. So yeah, let's reboot it. Let's see what we can do with it. But as history has shown us, the reboots are usually terrible and leave a bad taste in the mouth of the hardcore fans and alienate the fan base and leave us just sitting here going, man, I wish they just left well enough alone. I figured that was going to be the case with this. So it looks like that it's dead. She actually made the announcement herself, Sarah Michelle Gellar did, on her Instagram account, that Hulu opted not to continue with the series. Quote, I'm really sad I have to share this, but I wanted you to all hear it from me. Unfortunately, Hulu has decided not to move forward with Buffy New Sunnydale. I want to thank Chloe Zhao because I never thought I would find myself back in Buffy's stylish yet affordable boots. And thanks to Chloe, I was reminded how much I love her and how much she means not only to me, but to all of you. So it sounds like there's like no chance at all of this getting picked up by somebody else. Although, who knows, crazier things have happened. Maybe another studio, another streaming service will pick this up. But Chloe Zhao, the only thing that I've seen from Chloe Zhao was Eternals, the Marvel movie, and I thought that was abysmal. I thought it was one of the worst Marvel movies that they produced. And I don't know, I haven't watched a lot of Marvel movies in the last few years, really since that. I watched a couple after that, but maybe they made some worse ones, but at the time I felt like it was the bottom of the barrel Marvel film. I know Chloe Zhao is a very respected director. She's had a Best Picture nominee, Hamnet, which I was actually interested in checking out. I have not got a chance to see that yet. Maybe do that this week. But the whole thing just sounded like another recipe for disaster, for taking an older property that was popular from 30 years ago and trying to reboot it, continue the saga on. We've been down that road before, and it just does not work out in real life like it seems like it should on paper. So this is probably going to be for the best. Firefly animated series first look reveal as revival moves forward without Joss Whedon. Okay, I didn't know whether Joss was back or not. I figured not. So let's go to the finding original article. It's going to be from Deadline. Nathan Fillion says Firefly animated series in development with co-stars set to reprise roles. Concept art revealed. Nice. Let's take a look at that concept art. So they've been teasing this. Nathan Fillion has a podcast. I think maybe does he have it with, I may have it in earlier, Alan Tudyk. I'm not sure. Regardless, he has a podcast, Once We Were Spacemen. I think it's with Alan Tudyk, who was his co-star in Firefly. And they've been teasing a reunion of sorts. And initially we thought this was going to be some kind of Comic-Con appearance or whatever. And as it goes on, Nathan Fillion's like debunking, no, it's not this, it's not this, and not this. So it sounds like, oh, are they actually going to bring Firefly back? I'm a huge Firefly fan. That series, it was done so dirty when it came out. I missed it when it first came out. I caught it later. But it was from Joss Whedon, who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. I talked about that earlier in this episode, Buffy. Never got into it, but he did Firefly, and it was this really cool, I won't say, I mean, it is post-apocalyptic in a way, but that doesn't really give the full vibe. It was a space show in the vein, a little bit of Star Trek, a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of its own thing. It was a space western, essentially, which I love sci-fi, I love westerns. This was right up my alley. Nathan Fillion was the lead. Great actor. The character he played was great. Alan Tudyk was on there, another one of my favorite actors. Great role for him. And it was just this gritty Star Trek, Star Wars, but more Western vibe to it. and ran on Fox. Fox apparently hated it. They wanted it dead, and they aired episodes out of order and effectively put it in a bad time slot and effectively killed the thing. It ran for 13 episodes. I'm not even sure if the whole 13 ever aired. I'm thinking not. And then they'd eventually air maybe on the Sci-Fi channel or something. But anyway, people who watched it loved it, and it had enough of a fan base for Joss Whedon, who at the time could like do no wrong. He was given the green light to make a theatrical sequel. And the sequel, which I love, but it was a little bit, it wasn't quite as, it was a little darker than the series. And that's because Joss Whedon actually wanted the series to be darker, and then wouldn't let him do it. So whenever he made the movie Serenity, which is the name of the ship, he went back more to his original idea and made it darker. The only problem with that is there was a little bit of a disconnect in tone between the movie and the show, but still, it was really well done. I really liked the Serenity movie. And for years, there was talk of a revival. But Joss Whedon then got into some personal problems, and he lost everything, his career anyway. And there's no return for him in sight. There's very few people in Hollywood who have ever done something so bad that they never get a career back at all. And time will tell whether Joss Whedon makes that list or not. But after his ouster for his certain behaviors he had engaged in, it was like, well, it's Firefly's dead. The franchise is dead. They're never going to come back together again. Well, apparently they are, but without Joss Whedon. And I don't know how good the show's going to be without him, because it was his baby. He did it. Although where he is in his life, even if he were to come back and do it, I'm not sure if he would be able to make a good continuation or not. But they decided here they're not going to do a live action version. This is going to be an animated series. Now let's read a little bit about it here. It's being developed through Fillion's production banner Collision 33 in partnership with 20th Television Animation, which controls the underlying rights to the franchise. Yeah, so it is under Disney. So Disney owns the Firefly franchise now through this subsidiary. The showrunner is going to be Mark Guggenheim, who did the Arrowverse, the DC TV superhero universe, and Tara Butters. That's Mark's wife, and she was responsible for Agent Carter and Reaper. I actually really dug the first season of Agent Carter. Are attached to serve as showrunners, and a script has been completed. Joss Whedon is not involved, but Fillion confirmed that Whedon has given the series his blessing. So somebody's obviously been in contact with him there. Fillion told Deadline, the dedication of Firefly fans has kept this 25-year-old show relevant. Clearly, the return of Firefly is something the fans want. More importantly, it's something they deserve. And we have a character graphic design here. It looks, I know you, if you're watching the live stream here, you can't see this. Whenever I get this chopped up and get a video out on YouTube later, I'll have the picture up for the viewers to see. But I would say right off, it looks a little too photorealistic for this to be what is actually going to be the animation on the show. It just basically looks like slightly more artsy photographs of the actors. So I don't know. Is the entire original cast going to be back here? Yeah, Alan Tudyk, Gina Torres, Jewel State, Marina Baccarin, Sean Mayer, and Summer Glau, and Adam Baldwin also. So yeah, I think that's everybody except Shepherd Book, whose actor's name escapes me. Let's see. Ron Glass. Yeah, Ron Glass, who he's passed away, so he will not be reprising his role, obviously. But yeah, I'll check this out. I just hope, I just got through in this same episode talking about the cancellation of the Buffy reboot, saying that was probably a good thing because, as history has shown us in the last couple of years, or last couple of decades actually, that reboots are usually disastrous, and they usually just undercut what came before it and kind of taint what came before it. And all of us who grew up on the property will just kind of wish they never did that, just let the original property alone. And the same thing may happen here with the Firefly animated series reboot. I don't know. Particularly, this is probably going to be like an adult animated series. And most of those in the last few years in the speculative fiction, sci-fi, fantasy genre has not been my cup of tea. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If you enjoyed that clip, be sure to follow the Film Nerd by Night podcast wherever you're getting this episode. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon for full-length movie reactions and early access to episodes like this. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.